Alrighty, so this is video number 2. Let's go back to slideshow. So as I alluded a couple slides ago, the reason that you really eat, the real reason why you eat is A, you love food, and there's different kinds of foods, and they all taste great, yeah. But your body needs stuff inside those foods, right? Inside the foods you eat. We call those nutrients. We can group those nutrients by the amount that's in food. Some nutrients come in great amounts. I think you've heard of carbohydrates, fats, and protein. Those are the probably the most weight and volume of nutrients that you eat. And by the way, nutrients are considered essential nutrients because you can't make them. You have to eat them. Water, by the way, is a kind of a macronutrient. It just never seems to get grouped with the carbohydrates and fat and protein. And the reason being, those three provide energy. Water doesn't, even though you may consume water by weight the most. The nutrients that you can't see are the ones that are micro. We call those micronutrients. Those are vitamins and minerals. They're equally as important as everything else. They're just, you don't need them as in great amounts. You could make a kind of counter argument is they're so powerful, like iron and copper and vitamin B12 have such an impact on our life that you don't need a lot of them. And so maybe that's why we don't consume that much of them, right? Who knows, right? There's a reverse logic here. So what are their functions? Very simply, and this is going to be in greater detail during the semester, protein is used to build our body, but also repair the body. We are a protein-based organism. We get to travel around the earth on planes and boats and cars, but we don't live very long. Carbohydrates are used to fuel the body. Some carbohydrates, like fiber, are very indestructible. Trees decided to go the carbohydrate route, not the protein route. Trees don't get to go to Disneyland to go see the new Star Wars area of Disneyland, but trees can live 3,000 years, right? So protein build, repair, maintain. Carbohydrates, mostly fuel. Fat, fuel. There's a reason why we store fat under our skin and not cubes of beef jerky and sugar, right? Because fat is a great fuel, provides the most energy. Vitamins and minerals both are kind of like spark plugs and bolts and fuel filters. You know, if you're a car, they help the car run. They're really important for the car. We need the least amount of them, but we still need them. And finally, water. Look, water allows us to blow off heat via sweat. Water maintains our warmth by just carrying the heat under our skin. All our chemistry is water-based. Lubrication. We humans came from the sea, and maybe someday we'll go back to the sea. But those are your nutrients. You have to eat these. You can make some of them, but not enough. So these are the things we have to get from food, and that's really why we eat the food that we eat, unbeknownst to us. Is another way to break it down. This is a very old graph from an old textbook. Some nutrients are organic. They're carbon-based. You would find them in an organic chemistry class. Carbohydrates, fat, protein, vitamins, they don't last forever, right? They come in, vitamin tablets come in containers that are airproof, that light can't get at. We don't put them in the oven. We keep them cool. Things like light and heat and water and air break down organic things. Iron and water, they're eternal. You can destroy a piece of steak. You don't kill the iron, you kill the vitamins. These things are inorganic. They are indestructible. Water bottles can break down and contaminate the water. The water doesn't break down. Okay, another thing we're going to talk about this semester is the calorie or energy. We use the word calorie, and what we really mean is kilocalorie, 1,000 calories. So whenever you use the word calorie, what you really mean is kilocalorie. And you can read through this. Generally, I think most folks have been exposed to calories in high school science. I don't get into the nitty-gritty of calories. Your important thing to remember is fat provides the most calories. Carbohydrate and protein provide less, but they still provide calories. Water does not, vitamins does not, and minerals do not. Alcohol, by the way, provides calories. Alcohol provides more calories per gram than carbohydrate and protein. We tend to forget that, but there's a reason why they call it a beer belly. because alcohol has a ton of calories, and the body preferentially treats alcohol like a toxin, because it is, and converts it to fat to get rid of it out of the bloodstream. And that fat can build up in the liver. We can ship it off to parts of the body. So you can read through this in more detail, and we're going to go into this in more detail during the semester. But fat provides the most, carbs and protein less, but certainly a good source, and alcohol a ton. But assuming you're not consuming alcohol, we can ignore that. The ones we want to use are fat, lipids, and carbohydrate. You will burn protein if you need to, but you ought not to. I'd say about, I want to say that the numbers run between 5 to 10% of all your calories per day come from dietary protein or body protein. When we talked about the micronutrients, we talked about vitamins and minerals. Remember, they don't provide energy. They help the body run. Minerals are inorganic. They don't break down. They only dissolve in water, though. You don't find minerals in oils. You don't find them in olive oil. You don't find minerals in beef fat. You find them in watery things like beef muscle or kale or vegetables or nuts and seeds. Not the fatty part of the nuts and seeds, the watery part. Vitamins can be found in fat. They can be found in watery things. Dairy fat can have vitamin A, and bell peppers can have vitamin C. Those are two different kind of things. One is oily and fatty, the other one's watery. So vitamins can be in different environments of your food. So expect vitamins to be in everything, minerals only to be in watered things. Vitamins break down. You overcook them, you overheat them, you expose them to light, whatever, you will kill them. And the last one's water. It's indestructible. It's essential. It is the only nutrient in your lifetime I can guarantee you will have a deficiency of. We call that thirst, right? Bill Gates is a zillionaire. He may never be deficient in vitamins and minerals and protein and fat and whatever. Bill Gates gets thirsty. And here's another little chart. That's my cat in the background sneezing. I apologize. And then there's a little kind of chart that I made for everyone to kind of, figure it all out and sum it up. And go ahead and look at the notes for this. It's a little more detail. And you'll hear Mr. Poochie, Mr. Chifu snort through all these video lectures, and that makes them unique and fun. Okay, I'm gonna end on that.